Welcome to Crypto Talk Radio, the podcast for everyday investors like you. Visit us on the web at cryptotalkradio.net. And now, here's your host, Leister.
Thank you for that, Bailey, and welcome everybody out there in Crypto Talk Radio, found at cryptotalkradio.net. It's been a roller coaster ride fresh off the inauguration of President Donald Trump for the second time. Only the second president since Grover Cleveland in the 1800s to serve a non-consecutive second term. The man keeps making history, and I don't know what it's going to take for some of you to come around, because some of you, and by the way, if you're new, welcome, but some of you don't get it. The man keeps making history, whether good or bad, and that's all he's been doing since, countless decades ago. He's just made history after history after history. That's what he does. WrestleMania and the whole business there, Trump Taj Mahal, Trump Tower. He was in front of boxing at a point. He had buildings up in New York over there, the Mar-a-Lago situation, first, president indicted, first president to be impeached twice and then reelected. Just time and time again, and then this blowout against Kamala Harris. There were people who were pissed off because they said, geez, it would have been nice if there was a black woman to be inaugurated on MLK Day. There's some that just don't understand. You're not supposed to vote because of a political, situation that has nothing to do with the actual politics of society. And rather, it's just a gender ideology or a race identity, something. That's not why you vote. That's what got you in trouble multiple freaking times. You vote because of policies. You vote because it's something that's going to be advantageous to the greater majority of society. You expect that the person that you vote for is going to benefit you, but also benefit your fellow man, your fellow countryman. That's what you're supposed to vote for. Somebody that's just a woman doesn't benefit you unless you're a simp, and somebody that's black doesn't directly benefit you just because they're black. If they're incompetent in policy, they can't do an interview, and they do word salads left and right, that is not the person that you should have been voting for, and you should not be celebrating when that person's running because you see that they're incompetent. You should be saying, we dodged a bullet by not putting this person in office because this person would have screwed everybody and the country would have crashed and burned. Meanwhile, Donald Trump gets in there, signs a whole slew of executive orders. There's already peace deals being negotiated, deal, left to right. He's already pushing for fixing the economy. He's already pushing for fixing illegal immigration. Day one of office, things that should have been done under the prior administration and weren't. I'm just saying your priorities are jacked up if you did not walk away saying we dodged a bullet. It's not even about Democrat, Republican. Joe Biden was not the right candidate. Kamala was not the right candidate. And the Democrats themselves basically shot themselves because they sacrificed Joe Biden by trotting him up there when they knew he was an invalid. So they let him go that long and they kept lying. And then Karine Jean-Pierre, the interviewers are asking left and right, said, you said multiple times, he said multiple times he wasn't going to do these pardons, and they did the pardons. What you got to say about it? Well, things changed. A lot of stuff changed. He struggled with this. Just didn't say, I got it wrong. I lied to you, and I'm sorry. He changed his mind. I thought we were not going to do that, and he changed his mind. That's his right. Just be honest. Don't lie. The point is you got caught in a lie. That's what it is. And then to do it on the way out, nothing the man did was positive. Nothing. And so you got to think, if you're on the Democrat side, how that negatively impacts your success going forward, because you just saw the Joe Biden whole 4-year situation. The man went up there, threatened Americans left and right, passed a whole bunch of anti-American things, caused a bunch of people to get fired, totally disregarded riots in Portland and people getting killed, mass shootings left and right and everything else. And all that they were really caring about is catering to the DEI crowd. Nothing went right. And then all the stuff he did on the way out didn't make any sense. And then he's rerunning for president. And people are like, come on, man, you're too dang old. And then what happens? Pelosi guts him in the back, kicks him to the curb. They draft Kamala into it. They didn't ask for your vote of who you wanted in there. They just drafted Kamala in there because she was the VP, knowing Kamala wasn't suited for it because she didn't do anything as VP. Everything was doomed to fail. And that's why Trump got in office. But the things that Biden did on the way out, the things Kamala did on the way out, the way Michelle Obama acted, and all of this chaos, it just harms your chances the next time around. I was stunned. I was stunned to see that none of these people have learned. So as I talk about cryptocurrency today, because I'm going to talk about cryptocurrency today, as I talk about it, I'm going to be injecting some Trump stuff into it. I'm giving you that trigger warning ahead of time because it's important you understand what his vision is and how it relates to your pocket. Whether it's crypto direct or not, it's the things he's doing that are going to influence your pocket one way or the other. And it's important you understand that because as you create a trade strategy, you have to be mindful that the person that's in office is completely different all the way up to the SEC. You're going to hear some stuff. I got some updates on the SEC about that may make you jump for joy, but it means you have to be a lot more thoughtful. And hopefully you're listening very closely at CryptoTalk.fm to Leister when he's telling you some of these things that he's been telling you for months, and you're spreading the word to other people so they can learn to be good traders, hopefully like you will be at some point. CoinDesk.com, and we are going to zoom out to the month chart, and we're going to start with Bitcoin, believe it or not. And the reason I'm going to start with Bitcoin is very simple, because Bitcoin has the strongest potential of going somewhere in the short term. Over the past 24 hours, low of 100,000, it was actually drifting down and then stabilized, a high of 107,000, currently hovering just shy of the 106,000 mark with a strong upward trend. Yet Ethereum has no such same. Ethereum, over the last 24 hours, a low of $3,200, a high of $3,400, currently hovering at $3,300 range. Nowhere near the same strong upward trend. I got some updates about what's happening with Ethereum that I'll get right back to. But the real standout star, ladies and gentlemen, is XRP. XRP, starting as just as soon back as November, went on a major run. It's about 6x from where it was. About 56 cents is where it was at the low point earlier in the 2024. In the past 24 hours, $3 range was reached. High of $3.36 or 26 rather cents. Currently hovering about that, $3.20. Major 6x on the XRP. And part of that is because people from XRP meeting with Trump, but also the shift with SEC. Gary Gensler's out of there. Ding dong, the bitch is dead. No more Gary Gensler. It's the law. None of that's happening. I got an update about what's going to happen there here momentarily. But before I get to those good fun stuff, I want to talk about the big news in the room that just dropped literally a couple minutes ago. Ross Ulbricht gets a full pardon from President Donald Trump. He had gotten a double life sentence. Can you believe that? Ross Ulbricht, if you don't recall, is from the Silk Road. He's one of those that was in the original with what we now know as Bitcoin. So he's notorious for this, but ultimately what his crime was not the crime and the punishment. They were not commensurate with each other at all. And multiple people said, you need to pardon this guy. And Joe Biden refused to do it because that's who he is. He'd rather pardon his family members that were actually criminals. So Donald Trump stepped up, gave him a pardon. Says, no, this is not going to work here. We're going to fix this business because the punishment is just way too substantial. Essentially is what he said. The punishment is way too substantial. And we're going to correct this. This came out on his Truth Social, quote, I just called the mother of Ross William Ulbricht to let her know that in honor of her and the libertarian movement, which supported me so strongly, it is my pleasure to have just signed a full and unconditional pardon of her son, Ross. The scum that were to convict him were some of the same lunatics who were involved in the modern-day weaponization of government against me. He was given 2 life sentences plus 40 years. Ridiculous, because that's what it was. 2 life sentences and 40 years for doing what? He was operating the Silk Road, which is the online business, and primarily, I would argue, to blame or to thank, however you perceive it, for the rise of Bitcoin. He was one of those first starters, but there were also other illicit activities. But if you remember what was happening with Napster, Napster was a similar situation in that it was promoting the MP3s that we now take for granted, right? You have MP3s all over the damn place. You can buy them from Apple, you can buy them from Amazon, you can buy them from Sony. They're all over the place. But back then, the very concept of an MP3 was anathema. They would not even entertain a different model of distributing music. And then all of a sudden they embrace it and they run with it and they take credit for it. But at the time, Napster was right in the front and pushing that change. That's what Silk Road was for the Bitcoins of the world. The illicit activities were taking place. Nobody dismisses this. But to say that Ross was directly involved or directly responsible for it, and then to slap him with this kind of a length of a sentence, was an absolute joke, especially when you think about Phil Spector, who died, by the way. Phil Spector, he had the gun in his hand that he shot the lady in his house, admitted shooting her, and they actually struggled to convict him. And when they did, they only gave him a 15-year to life sentence. There was unequal justice happening. That's what Donald Trump basically said, and said, we're going to get this done. And he was pushing to get this, and people were pushing him to prioritize this in the first 100 days of the administration. So he made good of that promise. The cryptocurrency industry is optimistic given what we saw here, as well as my next bit of news. The SEC forms a new task force spearheaded by Hester Pierce, which is a strong cryptocurrency supporter. They're looking into better crypto regulation, more clear crypto regulation now that Gary Gensler's the hell out of there. They also want to look with the CFTC and get some clarity about who's going to oversee and enforce cryptocurrency going forward. They believe that, bottom line, this is going to be a long time process. It's going to take us some time to get to some sanity and stability with regulatory framework, but we do need regulatory framework instead of regulation by enforcement, as has been the case in the past. We need to support innovation and market integrity with it and work with the public more importantly. The only negative I see with this is that they do need to talk to the regular layman investor and not the rich MFers out there, like I suspect they're going to do. Because when you focus on the rich MFers, those rich MFers don't know what the F they're talking about either. Speaking of rich MFer doesn't know what he's talking about, idiot Vitalik Buterin from Ethereum goes on the offense amid a major shakeup. Previously, Vitalik had done an announcement talking about they're going to shake up the Ethereum Foundation. Some leadership's going to shift around. Apparently, some of the shift is significant enough that he has taken over control right now. And this guy's starting to lose it. With all the damn money he has, he's starting to kind of lose his nuts and bolts because he's getting triggered and frustrated because people are attacking him on X. So for those people who said that this guy is a great guy, he's great for the business, and he's done so much for industry and cryptocurrency business, and we should celebrate him and thank him and welcome him and everybody and everything else in between, I want you to step back. Step back and try to understand what you see here, which is validation of what is said to be the truth, which is this guy is a freaking idiot. And that's why I call him Idiot Vitalik, because he's an idiot. The fact that he's getting triggered and pissed off and frustrated and set off is because he knows he got caught with his pants down and everybody's seeing it for the first time, though Leister, Crypto Talk to the FM's been calling it out for months that the guy's an idiot. Now we see what it is. There was a multitude of things that caused whales that sell out because he was dumping on your head. Plus, there was decisions from the leadership team. This is what's been suppressing Ethereum's price movement and why Ethereum has not benefited to the same degree that Bitcoin did. Solana is where many of those people jumped ship over to. Now, of course, Solana had some issues. It just had congestion issues with this official Trump token. The official Trump token basically brought the damn thing to its knees because it skyrocketed to almost $20 billion. And so it's not absolved of these issues itself. But the point is, Ethereum had a key opportunity to simply do it right, but he's led by an idiot, and this is where we are now. And so he's not apologizing for anything he said. He just said, we need to fix this, and we need to get everything back on track, and we need to stop worrying about lobbying and political figures and all that. This is fresh off the fact that that guy trashed anybody who supported Donald Trump. He's getting it from all sides, and I'm pleased as peaches to see that happen. And of course, the more he keeps opening his damn mouth, the more Ethereum is going to suffer. So I'm hoping, this is a hope, I'm hoping that at some point he'll come to some deity moment and say, I need to get off my high horse here, and I'm not who I don't have the same big dick energy as the kids say that I thought I did, and I probably need to back down because I'm losing some of the whales, and we're not getting the same amount of money that the freaking official Trump token did. That thing surpassed SHIB. It surpassed Pepe. It almost surpassed Doge. It was just climbing and climbing. Ethereum had a key opportunity to entice. That means the money's out there is the point. Because that token gutted from all these different projects. That money is there. And he had an opportunity to leverage momentum. And because he's a freaking idiot, all that money's lost. All that money's lost on the table, and we're not going to get it back. And so I am hoping this finally gets this guy out of people's hair and we get rid of him and we're done and we don't have to hear more of his nonsense anymore. And for people that are just kind of curious, well, why does it bother you so much? It bothers me because I don't like people that are praised like deities as he is, just like CZ, him, the cult leader. I don't like to see it. I like to see level and reason, and you recognize this guy's a fucking idiot because he is a fucking idiot. Listen to what he says. He's a fucking idiot. The things he says don't make any damn sense, and that's why Ethereum's struggling. If I'm wrong, why is it Ethereum has been struggling for so long? That rhymes. Speaking about struggling, Zach XBT, the known blockchain sleuth, is getting attacked because apparently, this is alleged, I don't have any proof, allegedly, he did a $4 million dump on a meme coin around some fundraising something that was being done. I don't have deets on this. This just dropped very recently. I don't have deets on this, but here's what allegedly happened is that there was supposed to be some sort of a, I don't know, volunteer something for him to try to give him some money for the work that he does. He investigates some blockchain activities. He found a lot of scams. He's done some good work in terms of the investigative. And I don't know what the background was of why somebody decided to spin this up, but kind of like a GoFundMe on the crypto side. Decided to spin up this token, the Zach XBT token. Identifications.sol, half the meme coin supply that somebody issued on for him, and then added liquidity and started doing some transactions, and then something happened where the liquidity was rug pulled straight off that business. The address then that the money went to was linked to a different market maker, and then that link tied back to Zach XBT. And so now he's getting kind of, what the hell's going on? $4 million of our money is taken. Some people are like, well, wait a minute, bro. This is his project. It was built for him, so yeah, he's entitled to the thing. And Zach XBT said, well, I'm doing this for free, and it's kind of hard, and it's out of pocket, and so I feel like I should get something. So he did not actively ask for money directly. He was very slick with it. He said, I'm doing this for free, Quote, when the U.S. government got hacked for $20 million a few months ago, I helped recover a sizable amount of those funds. I was rewarded nothing for that. And then this caused this whole business of the volunteer stuff. And so I am sharing this only because at the end of the day, if you're doing, like when some of these people say, hey, I did this for free, and it's tough. I didn't get a reward, and it's an appeal to your sympathies. It's an appeal to your emotions to get you to act on their behalf, which is part of the problem with a lot of the online personalities, because in this case, it's not like he stole the money. It's that this was created for him. It was created to benefit him. So he was entitled to rug pull it because it was created for him. Nobody knows why the person created the project for him other than somebody felt like doing it, and apparently people bought into it. And then, of course, he essentially rug pulled it. It's what the allegation is, but he had the right to, and it's not like he stole it, right? But it's a rug pull because a rug pull is money's made available, and then it's not. So if you're one of those that got into the Zach XBT situation, I don't blame you for being pissed off. I would not equate this to like that Hawk Tuah nonsense, because in this case, he didn't create the token, as I'm told. Somebody else created it for him, and then somebody set it up and then enabled trades to try to support him. And the beef people have is the fact that he withdrew everything out. He essentially a rug pull. He just drew all of it out instead of like like oversteady, take it as little bits, that more people are pissed off that he just dumped the complete hell out of it. But what did you expect? If you built it for him, he was entitled to do that. There's nothing wrong with the fact that he did that. So if you're in it, sorry, but that did happen, and it's what it was. In closing, because I want to keep this kind of short and sweet, we had a lot of stuff I wanted to cover, but we can keep it short and sweet this particular episode. I think Donald Trump, he did not say anything about cryptocurrency in his initials. He didn't even talk about the executive order of cryptocurrency. The only thing that we got notable was about the SEC talking about some regulatory framework, which is a step in the right direction. He didn't talk about his meme token. He didn't talk about his NFT. He didn't talk about Bitcoin. He didn't talk about anything cryptocurrency directly related as part of the executive actions, which he promised he was going to do. I think the reason that he chose not to do that, this is a theory. I think the reason he chose not to do that is because he knew that he had to have the conversation with the Federal Reserve first. I think he needed to figure out how much money is available, create a strategic plan for doing it, MicroStrategy or whatever they are. They're stacking all sorts of Bitcoin, so I don't see a reason why he wouldn't do it at this point. There's nothing stopping him from doing it. I think he needs to figure out how much money is available to do it, and I think there's more important things that are on deck in front, like the solving all these wars that Biden helped start, and getting us back on track with energy, getting away from the EV nonsense. There's a lot to do to play catch up with the stuff that Biden left behind. He left. It's like people trashing an apartment on the way out the door. That's what Biden did. That's exactly what he did. And so I think Donald Trump is just trying to get his hands wrapped around what does he have? What is he left with? What's the legacy? And then kind of take it from there. So if you're watching, now is the time. If you can get into some deals on cryptocurrency, now is the time to do it. Bitcoin is going to go up, but the profit's going to be in all the alts, especially as money flows back into the alts from like the official Trump and other places. There's going to be some strong profit opportunity in 2025. I can almost guarantee at this point. And I think the moment he talks about something specific to cryptocurrency, you're going to see some pumps across the board. Of course, Ethereum's not, because you got Idiot Vitalik, but everything else I think is going to go on a run, and it's going to be a wild ride. And make sure you strap in and make sure you're careful. But some people are gamblers, and I understand. Well, roll the dice, please. That's what you want to do. But if you're cautious and conservative like myself, you can see the opportunities and make a little bit of money, toss it in the side. I actually strongly, in all disclaimer, I did make some money off official Trump because I caught it at the right moment. I didn't toss a crap ton in there. I tossed just a little bit in there, made some money off of it. That helped recoup from another project where there was a loss. That's the game. So for me, it was just, let me go ahead and get into this just to make some money back that I had lost and then kind of go from there. There's going to be those opportunities all over the place. I would stay away from garbage, but that's me personally. But there's going to be a lot of legit projects, I think, showing up. And pay attention to some of those, chains. I think Avalanche is overdue. I think Hedera is overdue. I think a lot of these are overdue for a run. And I do think like BNB, in my opinion, is going to hit the four figures. That's a speculation at best. But I think it's going to hit four figures. And if we get strong regulatory, I would love to see a drop of some of the KYC nonsense, and that's going to cause more runs. It's going to be an exciting time, ladies and gentlemen. Strap in because it's going to be fun.